What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to win every single new mode for Season 2 of Fall Guys. So we're going to, cut all of the fluff out, just head right into the video. So first, we have Night Fever. Now, the thing you need to know, I'd say with Night Fever, obviously, it's got several steps. This is one of those racing levels. In the beginning, very simple. I would say just run forward. Be very careful about your, pivoting. You can make very, very quick, small turns if you need to, stop yourself and move. There should really be no problems with being hit by those first couple axes that are flying. There should really be no problem. The hardest thing I would probably say is the next part. I see a lot of people falling off of this part. It's the log that's moving that has the spikes coming out. This, if you can get it where you can just run straight through, you can get basically into a system where going at a consistent speed will literally just make you go through all of them. And you do want to stay, I would say, in the middle of the log. You don't want to go too far to one side. Even if you get hit by one of these things, it's not the biggest deal. A lot of times your character will kind of just wobble from it, but you won't end up falling off. And again, this is where the very quick turns, spin around and maybe go back a little bit and then go forward, come very much in handy. Again, you'd want to take this, I would say, slow in the way of if you can't get, again, that very consistent, straight shot. If you can't get that, I would just say do some stoppings and do some startings, and you should be completely fine. Obviously, diving even at the end of it is okay, and a lot of people would like to do that, but again, staying straight in that log. Next part, pretty darn easy. Jump and dive. That's all you really have to do. That way, as I've even done it, even if you do get hit by one of those things, which I have a couple times, but most times, I'd say 90% of the time, you will just slide right down. You won't get hurt by anything. It makes you go very, very quickly. That's a way to, I would say, gain a lot of missed time that you maybe have lost earlier on. But even if you do get hit by something, because you're going with your belly basically on that slime, you shouldn't be, pushed too far. The next part is probably the most aggravating. Even I've gotten into a situation where I get really, really upset with this. You want to stay to one of the two sides, and when the log is going on the opposite side, so if you're going far left, you want to wait till the log is basically right in front of you and going far right, and then you want to move. There's the middle point where there is no log moving. You want to wait there and then do the exact same thing. Take your time. Really take your time. Just wait for the log to go by and then dart through. And the final part of it, I always go for the gate that's at the highest point. You don't want to go for a gate that's raising currently, and you probably don't want to go for a gate that's lowering currently. You want to pick the gate that's probably at the highest or going up, and that that one is the highest. If you do it, if you don't do that, you run the risk of, if it's going down and then it may come up on you, you'll have to dive for it, which I've never had to do because I always just go for that top one, but you can run into some issues. Pretty darn straightforward. I want to go into the egg siege next. It's very, I'm not even going to talk about this for more than 10 seconds. Egg scramble is the worst mode in this game. That's a hot take, but no, this one is a little bit more wide open. The point, I would say, still generally stands. Get as many eggs as you can in the beginning and then just guard it. It is easier to lose your eggs this time because there's very, very clearly two paths to leave, so you'll need very distinctly two people guarding it. And then even when you get to the top of your ramp, you could technically jump kind of diagonal and jump over the little barrier to get over. So there are a lot more ways to get the eggs out, but still, I would say just get the eggs as quickly as you can, as many as you can, and then guard. You could, whether you hold the yellow egg in your area, or whether you're jumping on people, or whether you're guarding one of the two entrances, that's the best way, I would say, to do it. Wall Guys is frustrating. Wall Guys is very, very frustrating. I love this mode, but this mode is very, very difficult if you get into the wrong situation. I would say key for this, and there's a couple keys, I would say if you can do it without grabbing, and by that I mean constantly diving on things. Sometimes the platforms will line up just at the start, just at the very, very start. Sometimes they will be placed in a nice way where you can sometimes make dives. Now, if you can't do that, again, you're going to have to climb, you're going to have to try and push things. That's where it gets a lot more complicated, right? The game has a lot of trouble with people jumping on the same platform. The game has a lot of trouble with if you're climbing on the same side. Really only, it depends on how big the platform is, but most times, at most, two people can be climbing one side at any given time. It's tough. If another person kind of jumps on you when you're doing it, you will fall off very easily. So again, I would say be either first or be last and hope for a miracle towards the end that you know can kind of get the one up. If you do fall behind, it's very likely that by the time you catch up, and you will catch up because everybody's going to still be kind of stuck, okay? But again, I would try and do one, like jumping, literally jumping from one block to another block. Again, and you could also dive, but I would say avoid grabbing, like pulling yourself up, and only do that if absolutely necessary. Final thing with this too is, especially towards the end, when it gets a lot more complicated, when people are fighting over one thing, sometimes it is easier to literally go your own way and build your own platform. I actually did this. I don't know if it's the one you guys are watching. I'm recording without seeing it, but I did do this one of the times where people were focused on like a far right 3 platforms. I went to the far left. There was already kind of something set up, and I managed to do a dive over the final wall and make it in. Nobody even realized that I was doing it when that was actually an easy, you know, path to victory. And the final one is Hoopsie Legend. So I actually really love this one. I would say this one could actually be like the most fun one for me. But this one I would say is pretty darn straightforward too in terms of tips. Be on your own. Don't really worry about other people. You know after playing it for a while where a lot of the hoops are going to be. A lot of them will end up appearing on the kind of raising, you know, the stand that you can jump on. So I would say for this one, knowing where the hoops are most likely going to land is the best thing that you could possibly do. And really, and again, this is more, I guess, maybe even towards a skill way, but don't mess up. You know, if you have a hoop that's like right in front of you, it's very crucial that you hit it. But I guess one final thing, which could be, pretty like apparent, like you can know how to do this. But if you see, I would say more than one other person going towards a hoop, I would say just back off of it entirely. It is possible they both mess up. I've done even Hoopsie Daisy, right, where maybe multiple people go to a hoop and then they all kind of fail at it. And even if you're the third or fourth person, you can end up making it. That's fine. But again, this one, you know, timing is key, and you need to get your 6 hoops. So I would go for the easiest ones. Again, on like the sides, there's some hoops that you literally just jump right through. It's very, very easy. So I would go for those ones. Go for the ones that you are very, very confident that you can get. Same thing with like the moving platform. Sometimes those ones are the harder ones to get because you really have to get a good position. If you don't have to get those ones, don't even attempt it. Same thing with the golden hoop. I mean, yeah, it gives you, more than just a normal one. But again, if it's too kind of outside of where you are, just leave it. Just leave it. There's plenty of hoops. You can go after the ones that you feel most comfortable with, and then again, pull away if there's anybody else going after one. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Any tips, any tricks of how to beat these 4 new levels in the game? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and hopefully you guys like this video. A little bit different for me for this channel, but I do love this game. I've played this game nonstop. I cannot wait for a Season 3 and to see where the game takes it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.